Good morning. This is my main idea presentation. The thesis of this starts: why this year's Golden State Warriors basketball team may be the greatest team in NBA history. I've grown up a fan of the Warriors through the tough times. Most of my life was the tough times. It was hard rooting for them, and it wasn't until recently that the team had such a great turnaround. But this all started from the top of the organization down to the bottom. Major changes from the owners of the team, who surrounded themselves with some of the greatest advisors and legendary players of the game like Jerry West. This all in turn led them to hiring a great coach in Steve Kerr and a general manager who both built a great team, and this has been a major piece to the puzzle with the organization starting first. But through this, Golden State, through wise draft choices, have selected some of the greatest young, smart players who came together last year to win the NBA championship. But that didn't stop them from desiring to better themselves, and it actually fueled them into this next year, where they set out and started the year on a 24-game undefeated win streak, just completely dominating other teams and beating them by significant margins. And at the halfway point of the season, they are a game ahead of arguably the other greatest team to have ever been assembled, the 95 and 96 Chicago Bulls, led by Michael Jordan, whose team finished with a record of 72 and 10. And the Warriors team this year at the halfway point is 42 and 4, which would put them over that record, which has stood as the greatest one. So this team is also top 5 on both sides of the ball. They're number 1 in offensive efficiency, but also number 3 in defensive efficiency. So they can stop you and score on you at any time. This has been dominating on both areas of the court. But the players in this game still have to play and win. And if the organization with the great draft choices and the team playing well, you still need superstars. You still need a transcendent player to lead and take your team to that next level. And so this trigger for this team comes in an underrated player out of college named Steph Curry, who has on his own way changed the game and the way it's played. Curry, who will probably go into legend in the Hall of Fame as probably the greatest shooter to ever play in the NBA, hits the three-pointer with such a high percentage, with such a great range and ball handling. He can set up his own shot. He does it on his own. But this, in his own way, has led it to where people cannot guard him. And it's opened the offense, that's a lot of other players, to really excel. So he's improved in every facet of his game. He's transcended the position and taken it to another level. So with Steph and the organization behind him, there's no doubt that we are witnessing one of the greatest, and if not the greatest, NBA team in NBA history.